again. Okay, so basically, let's take a look at chemical digestion. Actually, this involves both physical and chemical digestion. So we started off with the mouth. So mouth secrete saliva. And then saliva contains 3 components. The component inside saliva would be number 1, contains water, contains mucus, contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. So the pH in the mouth is 7. And physical digestion occurs here. The physical digestion involved here is mastication. Mastication is also known as the act of chewing. So mastication is like a bombastic word for chewing lah. Chemical digestion in the mouth involves salivary amylase. So basically what happened is your starch is digested by salivary amylase into maltose. Okay, that's the chemical digestion that occur in the mouth, and also the physical digestion occurs there. Okay, Ken?
Yeah.
Next is your esophagus. Esophagus does not secrete anything. The pH will still be the same pH as earlier because it doesn't secrete anything that changes the pH. Physical digestion is the act of peristalsis. Peristalsis here, peristalsis is defined by alternate wave-like movement due to contraction, relaxation of circular and longitudinal muscles. Okay. That's peristalsis. Do you know what's peristalsis?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the movement along the alimentary canal that will squeeze the food along the alimentary canal. So even if you are upside down, you can actually move your food from your mouth to your stomach. Okay? Movement of food doesn't rely on gravity. It relies on contraction and relaxation of the muscle along the alimentary canal. Okay? Chemical digestion is still the same as the one earlier. In actual fact, there is no new chemical digestion. Okay? But there is the existing one that you had earlier. Okay? Because no changes occur, so the digestion of salivary amylase will continue on in the esophagus. Okay?
Mm.
Then let's take a look at stomach. Stomach secrete gastric juice. Gastric juice contain water, mucus, salivary amylase. Sorry. It contain hydrochloric acid. And also enzymes. Enzymes involved in here is your pepsin and renin. So hydrochloric acid, side note, hydrochloric acid, HCl, it has its function. Its function is to, number one, kill bacteria. Number two, it is there to provide acidic medium to activate pepsin, to activate and support the action of pepsin and renin. Number three, hydrochloric acid is acidic. So in that case, it will stop the function of salivary amylase. Because salivary amylase works best at pH 7, presence of HCl would cause the pH to change to pH 2. So in that case, salivary amylase doesn't work anymore. So HCl actually stopped the function of salivary amylase. Okay?
Okay. What's the renin?
What's the renin? I'll be telling you later. Okay?
Okay.
So physical digestion here is the act of churning of the stomach. So churning, like you are actually mixing the food substances like mixer like that. Okay, so the act of churning is a physical digestion. Then we have chemical digestion. Chemical digestion here would be pepsin. Or we start with renin first. So renin actually turn casinogen into casein. So you might be wondering what is casinogen. Pepsinogen is what we call soluble protein. And casein is insoluble protein. So what does the soluble and insoluble mean? It means that soluble is a liquid form because it can dissolve in water. While insoluble means it is in solid form. In other words, we are turning soybean milk to bean curd. You understand what I mean?
Mm.
So we are turning liquid protein, especially those that are found in milk, soy milk, all this almond milk, all this, into solid protein because we want the protein to flow through the stomach slowly. If you are in liquid form, you will flow through the stomach very quickly because liquids flow very fast, right? If you turn it into solid form of protein, then it won't move that quickly. It will stay put in the stomach so that digestion of protein can occur. Because digestion of protein takes very long. Okay, if you have small amount of protein, you take roughly 2 hours. If you have large amount of protein, you take roughly 6 hours to completely digest the protein. So if it is in liquid form, it will flow through very quickly within half an hour. Then you don't have the chance to completely digest the protein. Okay?
Mm.
Next is our pepsin. So what pepsin do is pepsin turn protein into polypeptides. Okay? So digestion of protein hasn't complete yet. Pepsin is just like halfway digesting it into something much more simpler. Okay?
Then what is pepsinogen?
Pepsinogen is secreted by the stomach's glands. Okay? Pepsinogen is an inactive form. Pepsinogen is inactive.
So need the HCl to activate it.
Correct. When exposed to HCl in the stomach or gastric cavity, pepsinogen is activated into pepsin. Pepsin is a very potent protease. So it will digest protein. So say you are the cell that are secreting pepsin. When you secrete pepsin, when you make pepsin, pepsin can digest you. So the cells that are producing pepsin are in danger of getting digested by the thing that they produce. So that's why they need to produce it in an inactive form. So when they produce that time, when it's still in the cell, it doesn't digest the cell itself. So once the pepsinogen has been produced, it will flow out of the cell and into the stomach cavity. So once it's in the stomach cavity, it's exposed to HCl, then it is activated. Then only you start the job of digestion. You don't want it to digest the cell, the very cell that produces it. Okay?
Mm.
After stomach is the pancreas. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice, unlike stomach, mouth, and esophagus, pancreas is not a region where food passes by. So pancreatic juice doesn't really have water or mucus. It only has its enzyme. In this case, the enzymes that you can find here is your pancreatic amylase, your trypsinogen, which is a cousin of pepsinogen, and pancreatic lipase. Plus, number 2, it has alkaline salts. So these are the 2 substances that the pancreatic juice contains, the enzymes and also alkaline salts. Alkaline salts is there to bring the pH of the small intestine to a higher pH, to make it alkaline. Okay?
Okay.
Because food doesn't pass through the pancreas, there is no physical digestion and chemical digestion occurring in the stomach. Okay? So we'll stop here and then we'll go to the small intestine.
So the pancreas produces pancreatic juice.
Correct. And then before we proceed, we have the gallbladder. Gallbladder will secrete bile. Liver produces bile 24/7. That means every second of your life, liver is producing small amount of bile. Okay? So bile is stored in the gallbladder and secreted by the gallbladder when needed. Okay? So when do you need to secrete bile? When food is available, when food with fats are available for digestion. That means you eat food with fats lah. Okay? Can?
Okay.
Next is your small intestine. Small intestine secretes intestinal juice. And as I've already mentioned earlier, it is an alimentary canal, so it needs water, it needs mucus. Do you know why it needs water?
So it won't dry out?
Okay, part of it is true. Water is also needed for digestion. The breakdown of large molecules into small molecules require water. This one, we'll be learning it in biological molecules. So in the process known as hydrolysis, when starch is broken down into maltose, you need water, then only starch can be broken down into maltose. If you don't have water, then it probably won't occur. Okay? That means water is one of the reactant besides starch, and also, starch and water is the reactant. Then you have the enzymes that break it down, catalyze the breakdown. Okay?
Yeah.
And then you have mucus. Mucus is to prevent the enzymes from digesting the walls of the alimentary canal. So it's acting like a protective layer lah. So when enzymes want to digest the walls, they will digest the mucus first. So before they manage to finish digesting the mucus, they already passed through the alimentary canal. Okay? It's like a protective layer. They will take the heat first instead of your intestinal wall. Because if your intestinal wall is lack of mucus, eventually what happens? The alimentary canal will have a hole. It will puncture it because it has been digested by all the protease in it. Okay?
Can.
And the third one is, of course, all the enzymes. There are a lot of enzymes, so I won't highlight all of them. And here, the pH here is roughly 8.9 or 8.9 or something like that. Okay, it's slightly alkaline, not as acidic as this. The physical digestion here is the action of emulsification. So what is emulsification? Side note. Gall emulsify large fat globules into smaller fat droplets to increase surface area to ratio. Increase rate of chemical digestion. So basically, physical digestion is always there to help chemical digestion. So in this case, bile is doing physical digestion for the fats so that the chemical digestion of the fats will be faster. Do you know the difference between physical digestion and chemical digestion?
Physical is like physical, like the movement.
Physical movement? Not really. Okay, physical digestion is a type of digestion where no new product is produced. Like for example, you start off with fats, and then at the end of the day, you still get fat. But here, you probably had very large fat. And then at the end of the day, you end up with small amount of fat. Just imagine you have a big bread. After you chew, you're going to get smaller pieces of bread. So you started off with starch. At the end of the day, you still have starch. You never change it into something else. No new product is produced. But the large piece has become smaller pieces. So this will increase the surface area. The surface area is important because if the surface area is higher, then more enzymes can act on the fats or can act on the starch or something like that. As compared to here, only limited amount of surface area is available. So when you break it into smaller pieces, you're actually increasing the surface area that it can get exposed to the enzyme. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, bile emulsify large fat globules into smaller fat droplets. Notice, this is physical, so fat is still fat. This is to increase the surface area to volume ratio so that more enzymes can get exposed to the fats and get digested. And the fat can get digested pretty quickly. Can?
This one like happens throughout the whole entire small intestine or like only certain parts?
It throughout the whole small intestine. Provided there is still fat globules around. Your small intestine is very long. So for the first part, that is your duodenum, probably there's a lot of digestion and very little absorption. And then towards the end, most of the digestion has been completed. But that doesn't mean that digestion is zero. Just that the activity is not that high as compared to the first part of the small intestine.
Sorry,
Okay?
what's the sequence, like the duodenum, then
Wait, the sequence is you have duodenum, then you have jejunum, then you have ileum. Okay?
okay.
Okay, next, let's take a look at chemical digestion.
Okay, so like the after it's like broken down, it like what is absorbed in the small intestine?
What do you mean?
Like, cause isn't it like need to absorb something, then like it'll be carried like to like the blood vessel, then like transported to other parts of the body, right? So
You have
what
to
is
break it into the basic unit first, like for example, starch. You need to break it into maltose first, then maltose will be broken down into glucose. Then only glucose can be absorbed. If it stays in maltose form, then it cannot be absorbed. Protein needs to be broken down into polypeptide, then broken down into amino acid, then only amino acid can be absorbed. If it's in polypeptide form, then it cannot be absorbed.
so in this case, like if it's a small intestine, so like it will be fatty acid and glycerol.
Yeah, fats will be broken down into glycerol and fatty acid.
Okay.
Let's take a look at chemical digestion. For chemical digestion, I will split them into, okay? Oh, sorry. I will tell you, I will highlight the carbohydrates first. So you have the pancreatic slash intestinal amylase. So these two amylase will convert starch into maltose. So these are all for carbohydrates. Where is the thing to draw the border? I cannot draw borders. Okay, those are for carbohydrate. Now let's take a look at protein. Ken? Jody?
Yeah, so like the fats part, right? Do I need to write the bile? Does a
The
bile
what?
come in here?
Bile is over here. Bile is involved in emulsification. It's involved in physical digestion, not chemical digestion.
Oh, okay. Wait, so like carbohydrates and proteins and fats are being digested in the small intestine.
Correct. All three groups.
Then in front, like the mouth and all those, it's not like they all digest a bit already. Then after that, then they slowly move. Then and the small intestine is fully digested.
Yeah, small intestine is like the last part of digestion already. You either get digested fully to get absorbed, or if you are not digested by then, after you leave small intestine, there's no digestion, there's no way you are going to be absorbed already. That means the end already. If you are not able to be digested by the time you leave small intestine, the nutrient is forever lost.
Okay, can.
Some sort of like do or die lah. It's the last part already. You know, everything must go. Those type of stores, they're going bankrupt soon. Everything must go. If nobody were to buy the stock, then they'll probably throw it away. Okay, you done copying?
Yeah, done.
Okay. Wait.